So what we're going to create next is our player controller. This is going to be used to send our scroll name that we created and scroll text to our HUD or widget, which we'll be creating later. So what we're going to do is go to our blueprints folder, right click, blueprint class, player controller, name this, say my player controller, and we want to apply that to our game mode. So go to our third person blueprints game mode, and we want to go to our player controller class, and there we go, my player controller. So make sure that's selected, save, just test it to make sure it hasn't affected anything. Yep, we're still all good, still does that. That's that done. Now what we're going to do is add our variables to our player controller. So what we'll do is we open our player controller. We want to add two variables. We'll name this one interaction text, name, interaction text. We both want to set the text one as a text and the name one as a name. Now what this is going to do is our scroll is going to send to these, which will then be set, will then get set by the scroll, and then be sent to the HUD, which will then display what the values are on here. So we'll go to our scroll, and how are we going to test this? What we want to do is we want to right click, get player controller. We then want to cast to my player controller. So basically that's what's saying is that it's getting the controller and we're now inside, essentially the best way to explain it, how I would explain it is we are inside our this now, so we can get get to our interaction name, interaction text that we just created. So we drag off as my player controller, type in interaction, there we go, we've got it here. So what we're going to do is we want to set, we'll try it on the name, set the name, and we want it from the value that we created here. So we just drag off of that and press get, and we want to connect that to that. Yep. So go back to our window. What we want to do is click on our scroll, and in the name give it a name. So we're going to name it Joe's Scroll. So what we then do is go to our player controller, drag off the interaction name, get. So we'll give that nothing. I'm going to go print. Oh no, drag off the event tick, go print, and connect our interaction name to our string. Now what that's going to do is, hopefully when we press E, this is going to trigger our Joe scroll to be put into interaction name, which will then print loads of Joe scrolls to show that it's connected correctly. We will see. So press play. So there's nothing in there at the moment. So in theory, there's still nothing there. So why is that? Let's have a look. Event tick. So that's going to there. Go to our scroll. Has the scroll still got Joe's name? Yep. So that's going into that scroll name, interaction name. So that's still there. So then go to upload. None. So I believe what the problem here is that when our player, I've moved the scroll, so I'll put that back there. When our player goes up to here, it's interacting with the cube as well as the scroll. So the cube's probably getting there before the scroll. So it's looking at it and thinking, well, this hasn't got an interface attached to it, so don't do anything. I think if I move that over there, and click, yep, there we go. Right. So what we'll do to make things easier is we'll just make that float at the minute. So as you can see, when we click on that, it's now sending to our player controller, which is then displaying Joe's scroll. Great, so we know it's all working and it's connected fine. So let's move on to the next bit. So what we're going to do is the last bits for now in our player controller, just tidy it up. So double click on player controller. We want to get rid of this because we don't want any loose ends. And we're also going to set the interaction text. So once we've deleted our print and rewritten node and that, what we want to do is close our player controller, open up our blueprint scroll. And we want to add another one of these. So drag off as my player controller. And we want interaction text this time. So connect the pins, and we want to go over here, drag off of text, get, connect, that's that. And what we're going to do as well is comment. So if we select everything that we want to do, so these two in case are these two nodes, press C and write our comment. So cast to player controller and set interaction name and text values. It's important to name things as logically as you can as possible, because obviously you don't want to be coming back months later. Obviously this is quite small, this could get into hundreds of lines, but it's good to obviously comment them the best you can, so that if you come back to it you can go, oh yeah, that's exactly what it does, or if someone else is reading, yeah, that's what it does, I know where I am. Also you want to try and keep all your nodes neat if you can. You know, I quite enjoy it. It's one of those things at first you think, oh, it's, you know, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, but there's nothing worse than reading something. You've got something like that, some over here. As you can see, suddenly you're thinking, oh, what does that blue line, does that blue line go over there, you know? So yeah, also if you double click on the blue line here, we can create these little dots here that basically allow you to separate it a lot better, so you know that that is going off there. You know, obviously there's only two things, but this could be, 20 things all going off, so it's good to have some neat and tidiness. So that's that for the player controller.